Hello, my dear viewers, and congratulations to you all because today is the United States national holiday, Independence Day. I know that majority of my subscribers are United States citizens. At least one is a United States citizen. So, so I congratulate you all because today, in 4th of July, 1776. The Declaration of Independence of the United States of America was signed by the representatives of 13 colonies in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The bad news is that today, 4th of July 2020, Russian president signed amendments to the Constitution about which I talked in previous video into law. So I find it ironic that 4th of July is the day when democracy in North America was born, and at the same time is the day when democracy in Russia had completely died. But this is a special address for you, Americans. You founded first nation in the world, which was founded on the principles of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You were first to claim that all humans are created equal and have some rights from birth. And you were first to proclaim freedom of speech, freedom of petition, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly, and the first nation to create a secular government. I really like this saying. Americans have a lot of hardship, but they're gonna fight them through. The United States is having really hard times now. There are riots. There is, after Russia Gate, there is a huge political polarization between Democrats and Republicans. Mutual accusation, alleged intervention during the 2016 election. America is really having hard times now. After all, we all see what happened in Minneapolis after the death of George Floyd. There are riots. People are assaulted, injured, killed. In Seattle, part of Seattle isn't even controlled by the United States authorities. Rioters proclaim their own republic, Chad. But secession is illegal, and we all remember what happened when in the 1860 South Carolina declared secession from the Union, and then 12 other southern states, slaveholding states, followed South Carolina's example. Though America is having hard times, I strongly believe that it can fight it through, because many times in American history people had joyfully, America's enemy had joyfully proclaimed that the United States will be destroyed. During the recession under Martin Van Buren administration, during Long Depression after the Panic of 1873, during the bloody civil war. During Great Depression, then there was a Caribbean crisis, missile crisis. Then you had a Watergate under Nixon administration, and still America hadn't only collapsed, it succeeded. It became world's only superpower, and the greatest economy in the world. That's why I strongly believe that while if not only you are having hard times, we have a COVID-19 pandemic. The whole world is on quarantine now, including our country. The pandemic revealed the old problems of American society, such as highly flawed healthcare system, inequality, and racial tensions. But all of these can be improved. So, what stops you? Firstly, you have to need unity. National anthem, national flag. That's what has to unite you, no matter who you are. Democrats, Republicans, progressives, conservatives, right, left. You're all Americans, and you're all united under the flag with stars and stripes. And you ultimately have one goal: to bring America to prosperity and well-being of its citizens. And this address is intended to all Americans, regardless of their political views, skin color, race, gender, sex, or anything else. You have to overcome polarization to unify. But you might ask me, why would I care? After all, I'm Russian. Why would I care about what happens in America? And I will tell you. America is world's strongest liberal democracy. Well, of course, it's not the world's largest liberal democracy, because India is the world's largest liberal democracy, but America is the world's only superpower and the strongest and the most influential liberal democracy. And its mission is to spread liberal democratic values around the world. The existence of strong America is, for me, as a Russian, America is like insurance against spread of totalitarianism. Because if no strong democratic nation, totalitarianism will strengthen its position. You know that there are many people out there who would like to destroy democracy, who hate democracy, and who would like to establish totalitarian regimes. You know that there are many totalitarian powers out there who want to strengthen their positions and who pretend to the status of the superpower. Communist China, authoritarian Russia, Islamic Iran. All these countries are tyrannies, and all these countries are trying to spread their influence in order to undermine democracy and democratic values around the world. And your obligation as a guardians of democratic values to which you have been committed since the very foundation of your nation. Your obligation here is to protect, defend, and, and spread them to the world. Because if no America, many people around the world lose hope. Because now they have no country to rely on against the dictatorial regimes. And not only that, other than totalitarian regimes, we also have a lot of terrorists. Um, Islamic State, Hamas, Hezbollah. Many of these organizations are state-sponsored. In 2001, after 9/11, the United States declared war on terrorism. Since then, Americans, it were Americans who killed terrorist number one, Osama bin Laden. And that's why we owe Americans huge thanks. And that's also why America shouldn't retreat. Because if America retreat, dictators and terrorists will spread their influence. And if there was, if some other democratic country like India or Brazil could spread their influence like America can, I would be assured that I can sleep well. But now, unfortunately, neither India nor Brazil has as much influence in the world as America has, and as much willingness to fight the terrorism, totalitarianism, and authoritarianism, and other evils in the world. And also, you should be concerned about it, because these external powers seek to undermine and ultimately destroy your democracy. But it's external powers. What about internal powers? Well, there are many also. They are from both sides of political spectrum. For example, outright, these neo-Nazis and neo-Confederates who made a demonstration in Charlottesville, Virginia. They were saying how Hitler, they were waving Nazi flags and swastika, outright are threat to the peace, because they're racist. They seek to undermine America's values, to disenfranchise the big majority of the population, including colored citizens. But other than outright, there is also a great threat, far left, specifically Antifa. Antifa, as I know, is already designed as a terrorist group by the United States, but that's not enough. Far left are currently on riots across America. In Minneapolis, where everything started, in Seattle, in New York, they are undermining the social order of the American society and are major threat to democracy. And that's why combating far left is so important. Because ask yourself for a minute, on which values America was founded? As I've already stated, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Individualism, individualism was also an important feature of American character, of American social order. Americans rely on themselves, not on the government. That's why keeping government out of the way is important in America. That's why small government is important for America. Because I I see only one way to save America. It's to make America more of, well, America. And America without individualism isn't America anymore. Collectivist America is an oxymoron. But that's what the left seeks to do. The major difference between the right and the left is that the right is individualist and the left is collectivist. The left seeks to build a collectivist society and a big government, which contradicts the very foundation of America and American values. Collectivism and big government, it's just un-American. It's a threat which would undermine democracy, because the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen. Collectivism would eventually lead to the undermining on the individual rights and liberties. That's why we should keep on watch and to keep the society individualist. But also this is a threat from the right, a theocratic threat. Some radicals on the right, such as Alabama Judge Moore, state that America was founded as a Christian nation. It undermines the core principles of America too, because the core principles of America was individual liberty, including religious liberty. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. No religious test shall be required for holding any public office under the United States Constitution says. So, making the United States a Christian theocracy or any other theocracy is un-American too, because it would lead to religious totalitarianism. Now ask yourself a question: would you like to live in a Christian version of Saudi Arabia or Iran? I certainly wouldn't. And as much as you Americans, I believe, don't want to live under Sharia law, you don't want to live under theocratic law, where anyone who is not a Christian and who is not a Christian fundamentalist is denied religious liberty. Religious liberty is just as great as any other liberty. That's why you should defend it as well. Again, happy Independence Day to everyone. Bye.